Welcome to Relationships as Spiritual Practice, Bridging the Secular and Spiritual, with your host, Alia Lowe Chardet, founder of Mindful Compassionate Dialogue and the Wise Heart Community.
Hello, thank you for being with me today. Today I want to talk about how to listen to what is emerging or unfolding in the present moment. And I want to introduce this kind of listening as a way of accessing something beyond our own thoughts and mind, something that allows a greater wisdom to flow through. For me, this kind of listening is intricately connected to the Power With model. For me, there's three things that are included when we think about or when we want to engage with listening to unfolding and how that involves Power With. When we're listening to the unfolding of life, the emerging of life from this Power With consciousness, we have first the understanding that answers, insight, and wise action could come from anywhere. From other people, from watching the weather move through the sky, watching the clouds move, from the sway of the trees, from the sound of an animal. And so if we are holding this open, soft gaze and our open senses, then we're allowing this information and we're allowing ourselves to be affected by the world around us that can resource us. The second thing I want to name is that the power to take action also does not reside in any one person or entity. That when we're allowing the emerging and the unfolding in the present moment, we also understand that true power is engagement in a synergistic collaboration with life. And so we're looking for these places where there's flow, where we naturally flow together with a person or with the movements of the day, with our animals, with nature. And the third thing is that there can be a valuing of experience and knowledge, earned authority from a particular source without attaching to one right way. So this listening to what's emerging from a Power With consciousness says, I don't have to leave out traditional forms of knowing. What is important that I understand that that is one way of knowing among many. That experience, knowledge, and wisdom comes through in many forms and from many sources. So those are the first things I wanted to start with, those three things regarding Power With. Understanding that wisdom and wise action, insight can come from anywhere. That taking that action does not reside in any one person or entity. And that we can value a wide diversity of sources of experience and knowledge. And the next part I want to name is how to open yourself to listen to what is emerging. This is about helping yourself learn to listen. And so I just want to name a few things here. Some very specific strategies and skills for listening to what's emerging. One is asking open-ended questions that invite connection and resource. 3 examples might be, what wants to happen with ease? What is one thing that would support more connection right now? How can I invite wisdom to flow? Just asking these questions, or questions like these, begins to open the door. Another way you can help to invite this deep listening to what's emerging or unfolding is to be free of an agenda, a preconceived notion of how things are supposed to be. Just by being aware of your needs and desires with an expansive relaxation, you start to detach from strategies. Calling in a trust that when you are attentive to a sense of connection and expansiveness, something bigger will work with you, and the unfolding might surprise you in wonderful ways. It's not that you never make plans. Of course we make plans. And the idea is to hold those plans in a light way. This is one way I saw this unfolding, and I'm still staying open to a redirect if it might create more ease, flow, life-serving energy. Our energy, when we're listening to what's emerging, is open, buoyant. And emotionally, you might be inviting a sense of, you might have a sense of anticipation or excitement alongside that listening. And then the last way to maintain the sense of being able to listen deeply to the emerging and the unfolding is to let yourself be guided. So to start to invite this questioning of, am I making my decision because that's what I always do? That's what I thought of beforehand? Or because that's where ease and flow are guiding me? So to look for these opportunities to make decisions based on where does ease and flow naturally guide you. To begin to, rather than seeking the next thing to do, to seek relief, to notice, if I just sit a little differently, do I have a little relief in my body? That seeking of relief in that relaxed way opens the flow in you. Seeking relief doesn't mean moving away from an unpleasant experience. It just means that relief is just as important as any experience. Attending to relief is just as important. Your comfort is important. It helps you with flow and listening. And to continue to ask the question, where is the energy and momentum now? The more you tune into that and try to notice that, the more you're able to hear life unfolding and be in sync with it. All this deep listening happens when fear is set aside and when there is a deep knowing that control is not only a delusion, something you can never achieve, but also directly moves away from what is life-serving. Listening deeply to what emerges arises from a deep trust in the natural wisdom of the unfolding of life. Thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate your practice and your care for life as you go through your day today. Radiating love from my heart to yours.
You can learn more about mindful, compassionate dialogue and find free resources, live offerings, and self-paced workshops online at wiseheartcommunity.org. You can also find Wiseheart's new Life Serving Boundaries book, now available on the website.